Hey guys, welcome back to Darshan Dev. So let's learn a bit about user profile models and Django signals. Now since I've mentioned user profile model, it's probably obvious that user profile model is not just a simple model, but it has something to do with Django signals. Because the first misconception that I had, and maybe you had too, was that you just have to create a one-to-one link with the user and that's your profile model where you can store additional data about the user, but that's not the case. Here we are going to use Django Signals and link both of the models together, the user model and the user profile model. Okay? So whenever you create a user, you get a profile for the user automatically, and whenever you update the user, the profile gets updated as well. So let's do it. So to speed the process up, I have just pasted in the code. That's the user profile model. Done some basic thing like a one-to-one link to user. I've not imported settings. I have to remember that. Settings.auth user model is the user model that is being used in your project right now. Since you can have a custom user model, and on delete models.cascade I have added a bio and a date of birth field. So over here we are going to create two methods, or just one method combined into two, which will create or update our user profile whenever our user updates or creates. Now here we're going to make a few imports. The first import is going to be the signal that we'll be listening for. That's the post save signal. So from django.db.models.signals we import post save. And the second import is going to be the receiver. Now receiver is a decorator that helps us make methods that listen to these signals. So from django.dispatch import receiver. Now these are the two things that we'll need for making our method. So we define our method, create or save user profile. And now this method is going to take in a sender, a created boolean. A sender is the sender of our signal. That's the model that will send the signal. Created is the boolean which says if the model's instance was just created right now or it's being updated. If it's just created, then the created boolean will be true, or else if it's being updated it will be false. And instance is the instance of the model that we are getting the signal from, and quarks, yes, extra keyword arguments. Now we decorate it with receiver, and now the first argument is going to be the signal that we are listening for, that's post save, and the second argument is going to be the sender. Now sender is the model that sends the signal. So basically that's the settings.auth user model. So the auth user model setting gives you access to the user model that's active in your project. So be it either the default user model that comes with Django, or if you have overridden the auth user model using the settings.py file, then your custom user model. So anyways, you get the user model that's active in your project using settings.auth user model, or you can also use the get user model method. I just forgot to import settings in this file. I'll import it quickly. That is from django.conf import settings. So in this method, we are going to check if the user instance was just created or is being updated. If it was created, we say if created user profile.objects.create, and we pass in the instance as our user. So we get a user profile for the user that we have created, okay? So if the user was not created, then it's being updated, right? It already exists. So if it's being updated, we say instance.profile.save. So even if it's been created or if it's being updated, it is saved. So whenever you create a user, the user profile will be saved, which means that you don't have to save it manually, and yes, you can store anything that you want in it, right? So to understand what's going on with this instance.profile.save and what this instance means, you need to understand what is an instance of a class in Python. So basically, yes, revisit it and make sure you understand classes, instances, and all of that sort of stuff. It should be very clear to understand this thing. So every instance that we are referring to here is the instance of the user model, okay? So now we are done with it. Now you can add as many fields as you want to your user profile and it will work. So I hope you learned something new. If you liked this video, Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more such content. And stay tuned.